Glad to meet you.
Rick?
Glad to meet you, Rick.
Joey.
Joey and
Jan.
Jan.
I'm Wendy.
Hi, Wendy. How are
Hi.
you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Not Jan and D.
No.
Oh, okay. I just thought of it.
Jan and J, the two J's.
Okay.
J and J.
There you go. There you go. Anyway, they own this really lovely B&B. What's your phone number?
For the B&B.
301-996-8910.
No, it's 8910.
8910. Okay. Do you have a website at all?
CauseyMansion.com.
CauseyMansion.com.
C-A-U-S-E-Y, Causey.
And I tell you, it's a lovely place to have an event. And I've seen the tents up here before because I just live right down the street, and they do a good job of doing this. And you've owned this house for how long?
Only since May 16th this year.
All right, so it's been a B&B in a while, but
since 1986.
Okay, all right, and we'll go through the paranormal stories as we go through.
Right.
But we want you to maybe give a brief history of the place, and then we'll go from room to room. You can take us on a tour.
Right. Since we haven't been here that long, and I guess we haven't. A lot of stuff has not happened. Some things have, but
Okay, that's cool.
I know it takes a while.
There's a lot of stories from over the years.
I got you. Anyway, so go ahead and tell a little bit of brief history of the house.
Well, the house was built in 1763. I think you said this before, for 11 Crapper, and he died not too long afterwards, and his son took over, and then Daniel Rogers lived here. He was the governor from 1797 to 1799. I lived in the house.
Okay.
He died in 1806, and Louder Layton, his family bought it, and they ended up, Mr. Causey, whose portrait is up here, you can't see it, bought the house in 1850. And he remodeled it in 1855 when he became governor. And he added a third floor on, he added the wings onto the house. He reversed the front. The front used to be, this used to be the back door.
Okay.
There was a two-story porch on the back side, which it's gone.
Wow.
And that was the front of the house, and I think they reversed the staircase too.
Okay.
So a lot of the stuff's been happening. He turned into Greek Revival, which was the rage at the time.
Yeah.
And it was 1,500 acres.
Originally.
Yeah. Actually, you owned this house owned this side of the river.
It's down to 3 acres now.
Wow.
But it's enough.
That's too much.
I hope somebody made a profit off that. What do you think?
I don't know. They kept going. Every time they sold the house, it seemed like they were whittling down the
Yeah, I got
acres.
you. So we're in the foyer here. We were just sitting on the bench. You got that bench from the estate of
Gene Dixon.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
mermaid's holding up the vase. Yes, it creaks a lot. I don't know if it's trying to tell us something or not. I'm not sure.
There you go. Anyway, anything happen here? Anything you want to share?
Nothing in the foyer that we know of.
Okay.
When we moved in, we actually asked the owner. I asked her point blank. I said, "Is the house haunted?" And she kind of didn't want to say anything.
Right.
She was, I guess, because
A lot of
some people will not buy a house
want
if it's
a
haunted, and
haunted,
other people love a haunted house, and and our last house was haunted, and so we're used to.
Well, it's
Ghosts.
funny because I know she was that way because I tried to get a hold of her and she didn't want to talk to me.
That's
So-
because she was probably selling the house.
Yeah,
and she
exactly.
didn't want any
Yeah.
what she considered might be possibly bad.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't see it that way.
No, we don't see it that way either.
No.
Do we, huh?
Definitely not.
No, we like.
Haunted is just a plus.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, there you
we've
go.
had people come here just because
Right.
somewhere online they read that the house was haunted.
Well, once this is out, you're probably going to get more.
Yeah, or we'll lose people.
No, I don't think you'll lose people.
It depends on which rooms they stay in.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Only half the rooms are haunted. So
Oh, there you go. Only half the rooms. Okay, they don't pay?
The ghosts
pay
haven't
the
paid. We get ghost money from them.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
They're not paying rent.
I got you. Okay, so take us to the next room you want to go into.
Well, we can walk into the library. Something strange happened to someone who worked for the former owner in there.
Okay.
She told us the story.
Okay.
And she said it was something to do with her cell phone. And she was in there and something was tapping on her phone. Remember that? Remember that story she told?
Yeah.
And so that's the only story we heard about,
Okay, we'll go
about
in
the
there.
library.
So go ahead. Show us the way. Do you want here?
Thank you.
TV TV room. I guess it's our lounge. One of the previous owner, someone who worked for the previous owner, had a strange incident happen in this room with as I think I mentioned earlier, about the tapping on the cell phone. She was trying to do something, and she kept. It's like someone had their fingernail was tapping on the top of her cell phone.
Like pressing the buttons?
No, just tapping on it. She said it was a
Okay.
very
She felt it.
odd thing. She
Yeah.
said it was. I can't remember the whole story, but it was.
Okay.
It was
Interesting. Okay.
And this is a newer wing of the house. This wing was added in
55.
1855 when Peter Foster Causey owned the house. So.
Okay. This is more
Not
like
as
this
old as
this
it
is like
was.
your TV room.
Right.
The TV room library, yes.
This is your feet up room.
Okay, I got it. I got it. Okay.
Yes. The
All
guests
right.
could put their feet up. They can lie on the couches.
Okay. So go ahead and take us to the next room, please.
When the previous owner was showing us around the house, I specifically asked her to show me where all the so-called haunted spots were in the house. And she said one of these spaces was right here at the top of the steps, and occasionally, every so often, there's an overpowering scent of roses. So, you have yet to smell the roses?
Okay.
Stop and smell
I
them.
mean, we've had a lot of like lilac smelling homes and
Yeah.
stuff like that throughout the years.
I know
so-
fragrances are
Yeah, are a big deal.
associated with those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, like perfumes.
Yeah, that's why we don't wear any. Anything.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that if we smell something, we know at least it's not each other.
I remember
Exactly.
the movie Uninvited.
Oh yeah, there you go.
About the fragrances.
We're not plugging that movie, but we do remember it. Okay. on to the next.
Longer.
Sussex
Alright.
room.
Yeah, I'm good. I take it this is the main bedroom or one of them?
This is the Sussex room. This is our best room. This is the room most of the brides stay in. Again, this is an addition. This room was added on in 1855. This is the room where we hear a ball rolling from corner to corner and a child or two chasing after it. Or we haven't heard, but the stories we're hearing, people have heard it.
Children
Okay.
giggling.
Children running and giggling after a toy from one direction to the other.
Okay, so we do have two balls that are on the rug there, so they want to play with it. We're also going to put Boo there, which is the investigator that gives me the less problems in the whole team.
Less than you.
That's ridiculous. I don't give him any
Never
problems.
misses.
You're not his Pooh Bear.
Never misses an investigation. Doesn't want to eat. Doesn't need a room. Doesn't need anything. And all he does is investigate, right?
Doesn't go to the bathroom.
Doesn't go to the bathroom or anything. It's a bear with an EMF detector.
Oh,
that-
really?
That when you touch it, it goes off and all that kind of.
Lights
Now,
out.
if the children come out, it's way past their bedtime.
And it talks when the EMFs go up. So they can talk back to it. So we're gonna put a recorder there too.
Okay.
All right, so that's cool. So anything else about?
As I said, a lot of these stores we have. Well, we don't stay in this room, so we can't.
I understand.
It
You
takes a
haven't had that
while.
house
I mean,
that long.
our last house, things would happen every couple of years.
Yeah,
It wasn't something that happened constantly.
Right, exactly. But you know, this is an old house. It's over 250 years old. Who knows what's sucked up in these walls?
Well, a lot of people have died in
people
this
have
house. A
died.
lot of people have died in this
Yeah,
house.
exactly. I understand it. You don't know. You know, you've had wars, you've had peace, you've had good times, you've had bad times, and
Disease. Go to the
disease,
cemetery and see all the young people that died.
Exactly. So yeah. So
Yeah, and a lot of the people who lived here had lots of children.
yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
In
And
the old
actually,
days, they had 8, 10 children.
and actually, when we call this, when we go into a place like this, it's like we're walking back into time. In a way, we are. Yeah, and sometimes time walks into you.
Or time
That's
doesn't
what
leave,
we're-
it stays.
That's what we're worrying about. You know, sometimes history bumps back, right?
Yep.
We've been bumped a couple of times,
Yep.
for sure. Yeah, touched and everything else.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so on to the next room.
We have quieter ghosts too, though.
Okay.
They don't throw lead pipes at you.
All right, you're good. All right, so this looks like a nice, comfortable room. It's kind of a step down.
This is the other end of the house,
Yeah.
and this was also built in 1855 by Mr. Causey. And
right before the war.
they had, well, he became governor that year, so he must have come in some money. But the Causeys owned mills all over the place. They had tanning mills, and
Right.
every lake in town, there are 3 big lakes right in town, they all had a mill on them.
Right.
And the Causeys owned, I think, the big one right over here.
Well, they had mills. You could do your grain. You could do all that, and then ship it
Yeah,
down
they
the
had
river.
different kinds of mills
Yeah.
also. Well, this room, we were told, this had before we bought it, there was a big king-size bed in here. And the previous owner's husband scoffed that they told her that the room was haunted and whatever, and he never believed them. Well, this is the room he stayed in. He always stayed in this bed. Until it happened to him one night. And the ghost sat on his bed, he actually feel the bed go down, but then this horrible stench follows. So we figured someone must have died in this room, probably from a long illness.
Does it smell like salt?
I have no idea. They said it just smells awful.
Okay.
So, but I was working at the computer over here one night, and I heard a funny noise in this room. This room's a mess. We still haven't finished unpacking from May, and I heard a funny noise. So I walked to the door, and I said, "Okay, if there's anyone in this room, give me a sign." So I said, knock on the door. So I went like this, and not 2 seconds after that, I heard this tap. It went just like that. And I could not tell where in the room it came from. It was sort of just nebulous. It was much softer and
Shave and a haircut?
That's what I said.
Very
it wasn't
strange.
me, so.
But the first night I was working on this room. There was it was a mess. I set up these lamps, turned on that sconce, and I had that lamp over here in the corner, and I had all the lights going. They're all on dimmers, except for the wall sconce. And the next night I came in here, I was working on the room again. I could not turn any one of those lights on. It was like...
But the power was on because the dimmers were lit.
Yeah, the dimmers were lit, and I tried to, as soon as I turned them on, they went off. It was very strange, very strange. And I've been in lighting, that's what I did previously. I was lighting for 33 years.
Exactly.
So it's not like I like about it.
Exactly.
And so I said, okay, Mr. Ghost, if that's who's doing this, I said, I finally got the lamp in the corner to work.
Right.
And every night I would come back and try, I finally gave up, and it was just like, but they're all working now, they're all plugged in over one, apparently it's that side of the room has the problem.
All right.
Because all the plugs and everything on that side of the room, except for the one over there, it was, well, this one had the same problem. So it was very,
Okay.
at the time,
All right.
it was very strange.
Very cool. We got a camera set up in here, and
Good.
and I'm sure you're going to do your shave and a haircut.
Oh yeah.
Wendy's famous. That's her famous thing. Right?
Uh-huh.
Sometimes she gets results with that too.
Well, I got a tap.
So there you go. All
So,
right.
Very strange.
I'll be giving it a shot.
Okay. All righty. So this is a bedroom, judging by the bed.
This is the country room, another popular room. We have a couple things that go on in this room. There's an old piece of furniture over here. It seems like whenever we come up here,
Show them which door it is.
it's this door. Whenever we come up here, this is open.
Okay.
It's an old piece of furniture, but it's got a pretty tight catch on it,
It does.
and it's open all the time, so that's kind of
So
crazy.
it opens on.
It opens all by
its own?
itself.
Opens all by itself.
This went on for about a month after we moved in.
Yeah.
Really?
And now it was all the time then, now it's every once in a while.
It's tight.
Right.
Yeah, and when his sister came to stay,
We had a regular guest and my sister both reported that they were in here asleep at night and they heard the door open and close like somebody was walking in, and the door's right there.
Wow. Now I like this room. If I was staying here, I want this room.
Good.
it overlooks the Poxwood Garden.
Okay. So anyway, we're gonna put our stuff out. We're gonna put Boo Bear out on his job, and we'll see you in a short. Pretty soon we're gonna go lights out.
Yep.
And Wendy can do her knock thing, right?
Yep.
Okay. So we'll see you soon. It smelled like lilac, but now I don't smell it as much.
No, it's going away now.
It's not in the hall.
I don't smell it. Jen did smell it,
No.
and Wendy did smell it.
No.
But up here, I smell it again.
I smell a little bit.
I
Yeah.
don't have it over here now.
But it's not as intense as before. That's sort of strange. So we'll mark that.
It's almost like it went from one side of the room to the other because I got a smell of it, but then it
Yeah.
was stronger over there, but then it came over.